Hello everybody, welcome to Coding 101. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the best online tools that developers such as yourself can use. The sites that I'm going to share with you today are destined to improve your coding life and journey by a significant portion. So join me in today's video as I outline some of the most fundamental online sites today. But before we do continue with this video, I do want to encourage you once again to please make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit like on this video, and if you have any questions or need any further elaboration on the things that I'm going to be sharing with you today, do make sure that you leave your comments in the comments section. Don't forget to like the video, and also don't forget to subscribe. So there are many different tools online that can really improve your coding life journey. But in today, I'm going to be encapsulating all those tools into like 5 of which I consider to be some of the most important ones that you need to know. So without wasting any much of your time, let's get started with the first tool or the first online app that you need to know. I'm going to start with the obvious one, which is obviously GitHub, which is I feel like one of the most important online tools that you can use as a developer. And if you're not familiar with GitHub, then you are in the right place, because I'm going to tell you exactly what GitHub is. It is a very, very important tool. As a modern developer, you need to know what GitHub is and what its purpose is. So GitHub is a website and a cloud-based service that helps developers store and manage their code, as well as track and control the changes that they make to their code. Now, to understand exactly what GitHub is, you need to be familiar with 2 principles: version control and Git. So what version control simply does is that it helps developers track and manage changes to their project's code. So as a developer, the more your project grows, then version control is necessary. So let's say, for example, you have a big project and you want to work on a specific part of the project, but you don't want to harm or you don't want to open some can of worms on a different part of that project. You just want to work on a specific part of that project, but at the same time, you want to work on another part of that project, and those 2 parts should not coincide. So version control becomes important here because it allows you to branch out and ultimately merge those 2 once they're ready to be merged together. So with branching, a developer is able to duplicate a part of the source code. The developers can then safely make changes to that part of the code without affecting the rest of the code. And then once a developer gets his code working correctly, then he's able to merge that code back to the main code to make it official. And then Git, of course, is an open source version control system. It just allows you to keep track of all the different parts of your code, the journey of your code. So ultimately, GitHub altogether offers a cloud-based Git repository hosting service. Essentially, it just makes it easier for individuals and teams to use Git for version control and collaboration as well. So GitHub is a very important tool that you as a developer need to know. It is very user-friendly and you're able to use. If you're not familiar with it, then you need to start on it immediately. Now we're going to move on to the second tool that you as a developer need to know, which is Firebase. So Firebase is a backend as a service. It provides developers with a variety of tools that can really help you develop some quality apps and really increase your user base and ultimately make a little bit of profit if you want to. So Firebase is a NoSQL database program, but it's not just a database. It has plenty of features that you can incorporate into your apps. One of the features that it has, which is very popular, is authentication. It supports authentication. You're able to add authentication into your code. You're able to use passwords. You're able to use phone numbers. And some of the most popular ones is that you're able to use Google sign-in, Facebook sign-in, Twitter, and more. So the Firebase authentication can be used to manually integrate 1 or more sign-in methods into the app. Firebase also has a real-time database whereby people can store their data, and that data is available in real time and is even available when an app goes online. Firebase also provides some hosting services. You're able to host your app as fast as you can, and the content of that app is cached into a content delivery network worldwide. Firebase also has a test lab where you can test your apps on virtual devices or physical devices that are that are located in Google's data centers. The other good thing about Firebase is that it has a notification functionality allowing you to create or send notifications with Firebase without doing a lot of coding. So these are just some of the features that Firebase has. I believe that as a user, you need to really know Firebase. So if you don't know much about Firebase, I'd encourage you to go to firebase.google.com and really check out this amazing feature. It could really help drastically improve your coding journey. The other tool that you need to know about is DigitalOcean. So DigitalOcean is a little bit the same as Firebase, but except DigitalOcean is a little bit more flexible, because what DigitalOcean does, it provides to you a virtual server which allows you to run your code inside of those virtual servers, and it ultimately allows you to deploy your apps physically to online. It allows you to deploy your apps physically using those virtual machines that they provide. So DigitalOcean is more like a cloud hosting provider. It offers cloud computing services and also infrastructure as a service. So it is pretty much inexpensive. It's very, very scalable. It's easy to use. It has like a minimalistic approach. It's not complicated like many of the other cloud services provider out there that I know. It has a simple API and a command line. It has some really good and robust features, and you don't have to worry if you don't know much about DigitalOcean, because it has some good comprehensive documentation. And if you worry about the price, DigitalOcean is one of the cheapest out there, so I would really recommend that you check out DigitalOcean. It could really help improve your development journey, especially when it comes to the deployment aspect of things. I'm going to move on to LeadCode. Many of you might be familiar to LeadCode. It is one of the best tools that many of you developers who are looking to get hired should really know about. So the coding interview process is really difficult. It's notoriously difficult, in fact, and preparing for it is not easy. Many developers spend a lot of time preparing for coding interviews, because in most tech companies, solving problems or solving coding problems is a part of the technical interview process. So you really need to know how to solve problems. LeadCode is a very popular tool that developers often use to prepare for technical interviews. So LeadCode is one of the sites that you really need to know before you venture into applying for jobs and all that kind of stuff. Because once you do, and it comes to the aspect of actually getting into a technical interview, then you need to have that technical prowess. And I believe LeadCode is one of the sites that can really help you enhance your problem-solving skills. So the other tool that I'm going to mention is Dribble. So Dribble is actually a place for designers. This is whereby designers post their content, UI designers to be specific, or graphic designers as well. This is whereby they share their content in hopes of getting somebody to hire them to do a couple of UI work in their company or something. So if you're like me and you are very doubtful of your UI skills, Dribble is a place where you can find inspiration for all kinds of design work. And so you can, like, if you don't have any inspiration to do something, if you want to find an inspiration on how to design a website, you can just go to Dribble and look at a couple of websites. You can get inspiration and get a general feel of how you might proceed in your developing your UI. So it's really a place where you can just even showcase your work if you are a designer. But as a developer, it's really a place to get inspiration. Or if maybe you're too lazy to create your own UI, you might even find some UI or UX developers out there. But I personally use it to get some inspiration on how to create better looking applications. Now, the one that I'm going to honorably mention is DevDocs API, DevDocs.io. It simply combines a multiple API documentations that you might have to go specifically to find at a specific site to find, but DevDocs just makes it easier because now you are able to access different types of API for different types of you are able to find different types of API for different types of online tools. As you can see, there's an API for CSS, HTML, JavaScript, AngularJS, many different types of API. So DevDocs.io is another important tool that you must check if you are a developer. Okay, so these are just some of the tools that you should really check out as a developer, and you should really be in the know of. Most of these tools, I use them. I use them in my development work, and so I expect if you want to be a better developer, for you to at least check them out and see if they can be a fit for your development journey. Alright, we'll end it here. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you like this video, and once again, if you have any more of these online tools that you would like me to know about or you'd like me to cover in the next video, please make sure that you leave them in the comments section. Other than that, I will see you next time on Coding 101.